about frost seeding. Frost seeding shouldn't be willy-nilly and random. There's a few little tips I've used over the years that I'm going to voice to you guys right now on things to look for. You want to scout your fields before frost seeding. And what I mean by that too is don't just start with the now, like here's today. It's February 8th. I'm just going to come in here and frost seed. Part of that scouting is last September, October, when you're out hunting during bow season, gun season. What is the sward, the density, your stand density of your plots? And again, there's a lot of things that can happen. There could be a lot of browsing and pressure and tearing up of some of these perennial plots, annual clover type plots as well during the gun season and during the winter. And right now I still got a little bit of snow on the ground, and I'm out here scouting. And so some of the factors too that come into play is what type of perennial. Is it alfalfa? Is it a ladino clover? Is it a heavy medium red clover plot? Some of the newer hybrid clovers, L-site clovers. What kind of clover is it? What is their growth habit? So if there's a stand that looks relatively thick, I'm out here standing in a plot that was an alfalfa, everlasting clover fixation, clover type, blend plot, that it was pretty thick, except for just a couple little weed clumps here and there, but pretty thick. I'm out here looking today, and again, my eyes are telling me it's pretty close to a solid stand. So for insurance sake, I'm going to go about a third of a rate of an overseeding, a frost seeding blend here. And again, there's some strategy on what you might want to frost seed into the plot based on what is out there currently, and that's a whole other topic in itself. So let's just say if I'm standing out here today and this plot is like ripped up, it's maybe half thick, half of a full stand. In those cases, I'm going to tell people to overseed about 2/3 to 3/4 of a full rate of whatever forages that you're going to be putting down. Why is that? When you're frost seeding, because you don't quite have as good of catch as if you're drilling or direct seeding. So you usually want to go 20-30% above the full rate. So if a recommended rate for a perennial blend is 10 pounds an acre, if you're going to fully frost seed, like establish it from day one, you're going to want to be going like 12 to 13 pounds an acre. So again, if this stand ends up being like about half, I'm looking around and I'm like, I think it's about half, half thick. I'm going to go about a 2/3 rate. If it's like 3/4 thick, you know what, then I'm going to go about a third of a rate. So again, always compensating for how much seed you feel needs to be done, and then making the adjustment and adding that extra 20 to 30% more because it's a frost seeding scenario. One thing I also will say to people too is some of these seeds, especially if I'm only putting a couple pounds per acre down on a plot situation like this, I will always want people to bulk it up. And a good thing that I use is 0060 straight potash, those redder particles that are sometimes more easily able to be seen, help you with the spread pattern. I just know from experience using the Earthway bag seeder, I'm going 16 feet, wide paths. But then again, there's factors like how fast you're spinning, how fast you're walking, and all that also come into play. And again, frost seeding, I usually say I'd like to have less than 4 inches of snow on the ground. Today would be a perfect situation, so there's barely any snow on the ground, but they're talking 6 to 8 inches of snow coming in tomorrow and Friday. That heavy snow getting on top holds it down, covers the seed up. The weight kind of pushes it down, gives a little better seed to soil contact. When that snow melts, that's going to help that seed incorporate into some of these little holes and notches in the ground. And then again, the freezing and thawing action, opening up during the day, contracting, tightening up at night is going to be part of how it's going to incorporate in the ground. And another thing that also people overlook with frost seeding, and this is something you can be doing at the same time, is you can be using a dry humic product, which also helps naturally loosen the soil, helps bio-drill the soil, helps condition the soil, helps hold nutrients in the soil. So when we're going to get the spring and the summer type nutrients, whether it be a dry or liquid program that we're applying to these perennial plots, the incorporation of a dry humic product, a spreadable dry humic product also can be a benefit. So again, a few little tips, a little video here on frost seeding from John O'Brien with Grandpa Ray Outdoors, February 8th, South Central Wisconsin on the Giro Farm.